What's up, guys? It's Kara Corey here from Kara Corey Fit Life. The holidays are over, but let's be honest, you still have needs, and I'm here to help you with those needs. So what we're gonna make today is something I call the All-American Donut. So for this, it will require a donut pan. Again, you can pick these up at Bed Bath & Beyond pretty cheap. This was like 10 bucks. And I'm gonna do a serving size today to make 4 donuts. So you can eat those all in one sitting if you feel like. They're pretty macro friendly. So I got in this week the new Apple Pie MTS Whey. You guys are gonna love this for baking. So you're gonna wanna make sure to go to tigerfitness.com and get yours using my link. But we're gonna start by using this whey. I can open it. Okay, so we're gonna start with a half scoop. And while you are mixing your ingredients, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I'm not gonna weigh this out. I'm just gonna guesstimate about a half-ish scoop of our American pie, our apple pie for our American donut. So put that in there. For flour for our donut, I'm gonna use a combination of oat flour, and I'm also gonna use almond meal flour. I get this in Bob's Red Mill. You guys can find this at most grocery stores. For the oat flour, I'm gonna use 1/3 cup. And if you don't have this on hand, you could use a different type of flour, or just simply grind up some oats, as I usually mention, as a good alternative. So 1/3 cup of oat flour. And you don't need much of this almond meal flour, which is good because I don't have much left. You're just going to use 1 tablespoon of the almond meal flour. If you don't have this on hand, you could do coconut flour, or just add a little bit more of your oat flour. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Splenda in here, just to sweeten it up a little bit more. And to make our donuts rise, baking powder, we're going to use 1/2 teaspoon. Let's make sure I have a 1/2 teaspoon. There it is. Make sure you measure that out. Okay, and then for our liquid ingredients, all I've got going on in here is 3 egg whites. I've already cracked. And make sure you stir them up real good. I'm gonna add those in there. And start mixing this up. And then the last thing I'm gonna add to this very quick and easy recipe to prepare, I'm just gonna add 1 tablespoon of my maple flavor syrup, because that just gives it that delicious flavor. Because the key to this recipe, we're gonna be adding on top of it is some bacon. So there's nothing more American than apple pie protein, apple pie in general, and bacon. I mean, who doesn't like that combination? So we're gonna stick it together for a donut. And what I'm gonna use is the Trader Joe's turkey bacon. I've already cooked up on the stovetop two slices, and I've just sliced it into strips to top the bacon with. I only had 2 strips left, but if you guys have more, what you can do is cook up a couple extra slices, chop it up in fine little bits, or leave it in slices if you want, and you could add it in the batter for your donuts if you want to give that bacon flavor in the center of it as well. But I'm just gonna use it to top our donuts after we ice them. So go ahead and just mix your batter around really good, and then we're gonna add it to the donut pan. All right, so once you've got your batter all mixed in together, you're just gonna wanna add it to the pan, which these donut pans are a little bit tricky, so what I like to do is just take it by the tablespoon and pour it in there. So you get it in there nice and evenly. Like I said, this is gonna make 4 donuts. My oven already beeped at 350 degrees. And what I'll do is go through after and just make sure it's all even. And we're gonna put this in the oven for about 10 minutes. Keep an eye on it, everyone's oven's a little bit different. So we're gonna go ahead and get these in the oven. I'll see you when they're all set. Okay, while our donuts are cooking, we're gonna make our very simple protein frosting to put on top. So what I'm gonna use is just some plain Greek yogurt. You can really use any kind of yogurt you have lying around. I like using the plain because we're gonna add stuff to it to give it a nice flavor. And I'm just gonna kind of guesstimate how much I'm adding in here. It's only 4 donuts, so we don't really need too much frosting, but we are gonna use our apple pie protein again. I'm gonna use a 1/2 scoop and add it to the Greek yogurt. And first, I'm gonna mix this around. Depending on what kind of frosting you like, you could keep it nice and thick. I kind of want it to be more like a glaze though, so I'm gonna thin it out a bit. And what I am going to do is just add a little bit more of my sugar-free maple syrup to it. Add a tablespoon of that. And then I've got some unsweetened cashew milk out as well that you can also use to kind of thin it out a bit. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of that. Should be good. And if you screw up, you can always just add a little more protein, play around with it, see what kind of flavors you like. This probably wasn't the best bowl to mix it in. I used it in a, no, are you done recording?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This isn't the best mixing bowl, but I wanted to use a bigger bowl because what I'm gonna do when the donuts are done cooking and cooling, we can take our donut and drop it right in there and swirl it around in the frosting, so it makes it easy. So that is pretty much all done. I'm gonna take a little taste test. Perfect. It's got that apple flavor to it, but a little bit more sweetness from our maple syrup. So we're gonna set that aside till our donuts are all done. All right guys, so my donuts took exactly 10 minutes to bake, and I like to let them cool for a few minutes on a cooling rack before you frost them. But this made exactly 4. You can see how cute they turned out. They get like a nice little crisp to the outside, but stay nice and moist on the inside. So what we're gonna do is just take your donut very simply and kind of swirl it around in the frosting. Out my way, spoon. And just swirl it around like that a few times to make your nice glaze. So we're gonna do that on all 4. If you want, you could go back through after and add a little more frosting if you want. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, I've got my bacon slices over here. I'm just going to take a couple pieces and add 2 to each donut. I mean, if this isn't a well-balanced breakfast right here. There's that. And to top it off, I could add just one more little swirl of syrup on the top. Just to add that extra little sweetness on top of your donut. And voila, you've got your all-American donut right there. So I hope you guys give this recipe a try. Also, if you like my badass shirt right here, I had to roll up my sleeves to get cooking, but this is an awesome long sleeve that came out from Tiger Fitness. It's got the nice hood on it. I believe it's unisex. This is a size small. So check those out at tigerfitness.com. Link in the description will take you there right now. You can also use discount code Kara for 5% off all your MTS Way products. If you guys like this video, keep checking back for more.